The pink creature kept licking the boy's face again and again. When he finally regained consciousness, he saw a cute little lickitung standing in front of him. In this world, if a lickitung licks you even once, you automatically become its owner. It is a magical world where Pokémon and humans live together in harmony. Pokémon are everywhere, and every single one of them is incredibly adorable. Tim had always wanted a Pokémon of his own. He believed that one day he too would catch a really good Pokémon, but he failed every time. While returning home, Tim suddenly received a call from the police. He learned that his detective father, Harry, had tragically died in a car accident. Tim could not believe that his father would die so easily, so he decided to uncover the truth himself and immediately took a bus from the countryside to the city. While searching for clues inside his father's apartment, Tim suddenly heard the voice of a human. Then he noticed a Pikachu standing in the corner. The creature claimed that it was his father Harry's partner. The shocking thing was that nobody except Tim could understand what Pikachu was saying. Tim asked him about the reason behind his father's death, but Pikachu explained that he had developed amnesia and had forgotten everything. He had even lost his ability to generate electricity. Now the only skill he had left was looking cute. After this, Pikachu takes Tim to a cafe because Pikachu loves coffee. Even in the cafe, Tim keeps talking to Pikachu, making the people around him think he is insane. Pikachu tells Tim, "I need to find Harry," but Tim informs him that Harry is no longer alive. Hearing this, Pikachu becomes completely shocked and refuses to believe it. Pikachu says, "If Harry were dead, then I wouldn't be alive either. No Pokémon can survive after their partner dies. And besides, the police still haven't found Harry's body." But Tim ignores his words and starts leaving. Then Pikachu stops him and says, "We need each other. Without me, you will never find your father." Tim replies, "I didn't come here to find my father. I only came here to say goodbye to him." Then Pikachu explains, "You can talk to humans. I can talk to Pokémon, and both of us can talk to each other. Maybe destiny wants us to stay together because there is still hope that Harry is alive." Eventually Tim agrees. Both of them return to Harry's apartment. As soon as Pikachu enters, he starts searching for clues. Showing a woman's photograph, he says, "Her picture is everywhere in this apartment. This woman must know something." Emotionally, Tim explains, "That's my mother. She died when I was 11 years old. After that, I separated from my father and started living with my grandmother." Hearing this makes both of them emotional. At night, Tim falls asleep. The next morning, when he comes out ready, he sees that Pikachu has completely messed up the apartment while searching for clues. During that time, Pikachu finds another tube of our gas. Pikachu explains that the monkeys attacked them yesterday because of this same gas. He says the Apoms smelled exactly like this gas. Then Tim remembers meeting CNN reporter Lucy the previous day, who had been investigating Harry. So both of them decide to meet Lucy. On the other side, Howard Clifford and his son Roger appear live on television and announce that the biggest parade in Rhyme City is going to happen soon, and the entire city will participate in it. But after the show ends, Roger becomes angry at his father because Howard dislikes him. Meanwhile, Tim and Pikachu arrive at Lucy's office. Tim tells her about the gas tube. Lucy takes them inside her office and explains that Harry had a secret informant at the docks, and perhaps he might know something about these tubes. Tim and Pikachu go to the docks where they meet a Pokémon named Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime becomes frightened after seeing Pikachu, meaning he recognized him. Both of them catch him, but Mr. Mime communicates only through imagination and gestures. Pikachu cannot understand him. Then Tim gets an idea. He asks Mr. Mime about the Argas using gestures and imagination in the same style. Through signs, Mr. Mime tells them, "Go to the roundhouse. There you will learn about the Argas." Both of them reach the roundhouse where people are conducting fights for money. There, a man named Sebastian appears. He says, "Where is this Pikachu's old partner? Because this Pikachu once defeated my Pokémon badly in a fight." Tim says, "I only want to know why his old partner came here." But Sebastian replies, "Why don't we first have a match between your Pokémon and mine? After that, I'll answer all your questions." Tim agrees. Pikachu and Charizard are brought into the ring, but Sebastian secretly makes his Charizard inhale the Argas, causing Charizard to become even more aggressive. Tim tells Pikachu to use a thunder attack, but Pikachu has forgotten all his powers. Charizard launches a fierce attack on Pikachu and starts burning him with fire. Then Tim jumps in between and both of them confront Charizard together. In anger, Sebastian himself also enters the ring. But during the chaos, his jacket gets hit and all the Argas tubes inside it break apart. Argas spreads everywhere. Under its influence, all the Pokémon present there become violent and start attacking wildly. Within moments, complete chaos erupts throughout the roundhouse. Then Tim asks Sebastian about the Argas. Sebastian says, "I only know that some doctor created this gas." At the same time, Charizard attacks Tim and Pikachu once again. Somehow, they barely manage to survive. But then the police arrive there and arrest everyone. Tim is brought before Detective Yoshida. Tim tries very hard to explain to Yoshida that his father Harry is still alive, but Yoshida refuses to believe him. He shows Tim the footage of the accident, and after watching it, even Tim begins to feel that his father is no longer alive. The realization completely breaks him from the inside. Now he understands how wrong he had been toward his father. He regrets not spending more time with him. Pikachu comforts him and tries to calm him down. Just then, one of Howard's agents arrives and takes Tim to Howard Clifford. Howard tells Tim, "The alchemical was created by my own son Roger. He never wanted humans and Pokémon to live together as friends. Your father was investigating this very case." Angrily, Tim asks, "Then why didn't you stop your son?" Howard replies, "After I became paralyzed, Roger took advantage of my condition and took control of the entire company." Then Howard says, "But your father is still alive." After that, Howard uses advanced holographic technology to show footage from the day Harry's accident happened. In the footage, Tim sees that his father was alive and Pikachu was with him. Then Mutwo appears there. Howard explains, Mutwo is the most powerful Pokémon of all. It was created in a laboratory using the DNA of the ancient Mew. Tim watches as Mutwo erases Pikachu's memories and takes Harry away with him. Panicking, Tim asks, "Where could Mutwo have taken my father?" Howard replies, "That's what you need to find out. Find Mutwo and you'll find your father." After this, Tim goes to meet Lucy at a cafe. Lucy says, "As you asked, I checked all the data from Roger's computer. I found information about a research laboratory. Last week, a major accident happened there that destroyed the entire lab, and on that same night Harry Goodman disappeared." To uncover the truth, Tim, Lucy, and Pikachu head toward the laboratory. When they arrive and enter inside, they see many Pokémon being held captive and used for dangerous experiments. At the same time, it is shown that Roger is secretly watching Tim and Lucy through the laboratory cameras. Inside the lab, Lucy starts taking pictures of the experiments. Meanwhile, Tim and Pikachu move deeper inside and discover a completely destroyed room. Using the computer in that room, they watch a hologram recording. They learn that Dr. and Laurent created Mutwo using the DNA of the ancient Mew. Harry had also helped her in this work. It is also revealed that Dr. Laurent created the R serum, the same substance that turned Pokémon violent. She had also built a control device to keep Mutwo under control. But then a short circuit occurred in the lab, allowing Mutwo to escape. Mutwo killed Dr. Laurent during the chaos. After seeing all this, Pikachu begins to think that Harry had supported Laurent. That is why Mutwo kidnapped Harry, because Mutwo wanted revenge against him. When Tim and Pikachu return outside to Lucy, they discover that Lucy has been captured by experimental Greninja Pokémon. In reality, Roger had activated them. Somehow, Tim manages to free Lucy, and all three barely escape from the lab, but the Greninja continue chasing them. Then Tim gets an idea. He deliberately makes Lucy's Psyduck angry. Psyduck suddenly explodes with psychic power, and the blast throws all three of them far away. Because of this, they manage to escape from the Greninja, but then they suddenly feel the ground shaking. The earth starts twisting and turning, forcing them to run in fear. None of them understand what is happening. Then a gigantic eye appears beneath the ground. Only then do they realize that this is not a normal forest. It is actually made up of giant Torterra garden Pokémon that had grown enormously because of the experiments. Suddenly the ground breaks apart and everyone falls into the water. As soon as they fall into the water, the Torterra calm down and return to their normal size. When Tim, Lucy, and Pikachu climb out of the water, they realize that Pikachu has been badly injured. His condition rapidly worsens. Seeing this, Tim begins crying uncontrollably. By now, Pikachu was no longer just his partner, he had become his best friend. Tim refuses to lose him at any cost. He desperately begs the nearby Bulbasaur Pokémon for help. In panic, Tim says, "Pikachu's life is in danger. Please take us to a healing Pokémon." Lucy tells him, "They can't understand your words." But Tim replies, "Maybe they can't understand the words, but they can still understand the feelings." Then one Bulbasaur calls the others. They signal Tim to follow them but ask Lucy to stay behind. After this, all the Pokémon lead Tim through the mountains to a hidden place. There, Tim lays Pikachu down at the location they indicate. At that moment, Mutwo appears. Using his powers, Mutwo heals Pikachu. Slowly, Pikachu's breathing starts returning to normal. Gathering courage, Tim asks, "What did you do to my father?" Then Mutwo uses his psychic powers to show him the truth. Mutwo reveals that while he was imprisoned in the laboratory, Pikachu was the one who helped him escape. He then explains that during the car accident, he told Pikachu that humans are cruel and that he had always trusted Pokémon more than humans. Mutwo is about to reveal even more truth when suddenly the real villain of the story, Howard, arrives there. Howard captures Mutwo and takes him away. At the same moment, Pikachu begins walking away from Tim. Tim tries to stop him but crying, Pikachu says, "I'm terrible. I betrayed your father." Tim refuses to believe him and tries to stop him. But in his panic, Pikachu accidentally shocks Tim with electricity. This makes Pikachu even more nervous. Blaming himself, he says, "I really am terrible," and then leaves. Now Tim is also filled with anger and pain. Without Pikachu, Tim and Lucy return to the city. Preparations for the parade are underway throughout the city. Tim tells Lucy, "You must tell everyone about Roger's conspiracy." After that, Tim goes to meet Howard because he believes Howard might help him. On the other side, Pikachu wanders through the city alone and depressed. Eventually, he reaches the same place where Harry's accident had occurred. There he finds a Greninja throwing star. Now Pikachu finally understands the complete truth. He realizes that Roger was the one who sent the Greninja to cause the car accident, and that Mutwo had actually chased after them to save Harry and Pikachu. After learning the truth, Pikachu decides to return to Tim. Meanwhile, when Tim reaches Howard, the biggest truth of all is revealed. Howard himself is the real villain behind the entire story. He was the one who had been keeping Mutwo imprisoned. Using a special device, Howard transfers his own consciousness into Mutwo's body and takes control of it. Now Howard himself becomes Mutwo. Howard tells Tim, "You and Pikachu were the key that led me to Mutwo." He further reveals, "I was the one who caused Harry's accident because he had learned the entire truth. Harry and Pikachu had helped Mutwo escape, so I tried to kill him." Howard says, "I am doing all this for the benefit of humanity. Only Mutwo has the power to merge human souls with Pokémon, but it is only possible when Pokémon are under the influence of our gas." Now Tim understands the horrifying truth. He realizes that all the balloons spread throughout the city are filled with our gas. Howard bursts them and descends into the parade happening below. Our gas spreads throughout the entire city. All the Pokémon turn violent. Using Mutwo's powers, Howard begins transferring human souls into the bodies of their partner Pokémon. At that moment, Pikachu also arrives in the city. At the same time, Lucy's soul is trapped inside Psyduck's body. She tells Pikachu, "Howard is Mutwo." Hearing this, Pikachu rushes forward to stop Howard, and an intense battle begins between Pikachu and Mutwo. When Tim regains consciousness, he becomes overjoyed to see Pikachu standing before him. At that same moment, he hears noises coming from outside. As soon as Tim opens the gate, Roger comes out from there. Roger is tied up. Now the truth is finally revealed. Roger was actually a good person and had nothing to do with any of these events. But then a fake Roger appears. In reality, it is Howard's Ditto Pokémon disguised as Roger in order to deceive everyone. Ditto attacks Tim and tries to knock him down, but at the right moment, the real Roger arrives and saves Tim. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Tim removes the control device attached to Howard's head. The moment the device comes off, Mutwo returns to his original form and Howard goes back into his real body. At the same time, Pikachu begins falling from above, but Mutwo quickly saves him. Afterward, Mutwo uses his powers to restore the entire city back to normal. All the human souls return to their original bodies. Howard is arrested by the police. Peace and happiness spread everywhere once again. Roger becomes impressed by Lucy's honest reporting and gives her a promotion. Lucy becomes extremely happy and asks Tim out for dinner that night because both of them have started liking each other. Tim happily accepts her offer. Then Mutwo approaches Tim and says, "The father you have been searching for this whole time was always with you." Mutwo reveals that Harry himself had been inside Pikachu's body. Then he explains the complete truth. He says, "When I saw the goodness inside your father, I decided to save him. I kept his human body safe with me and transferred his soul into Pikachu so he could survive." Hearing this, tears of happiness fill Tim's eyes. Afterward, Mutwo uses his powers to turn Harry back into a human again. The next day, Tim is shown preparing to return to his grandmother's house. Harry comes to say goodbye to him. But now Tim has realized his mistakes. He decides on his own that from now on he will stay with his father. Hearing this makes Harry extremely happy because Tim now wants to become a detective just like his father.